So I work at the Supported Community Living Initiative located in Columbia, South Carolina, and our mission is changing the way housing and support services are provided for people with disabilities through training, technical assistance, and expanding their resources. So we were founded in 2006. We are located at the Center for Disability Resources, which is a part of the University of South Carolina School of Medicine. So it's a little bit confusing sometimes. We are one program at the Center for Disability Resources, which is kind of this umbrella of a lot of different programs that work with people with intellectual and developmental disabilities. Our program was specifically designed to work with people with intellectual or developmental disabilities who want to live independently. So our goal is to support these people to become active members of their communities and to live independently if they want to. Our program was founded on the principles of leadership and self-determination, which includes freedom, authority, support, and responsibility. So it's very important to us for us to empower the client to make their own decisions and to, feel competent in their lives. So what we do is kind of like what probably most of you or I would do if we were looking for a place to live. We help people with disabilities do that. So if they want to look at an apartment or a house, they tell us what they're interested in, and we help them through that whole process. So that's doing a bunch of different things. We kind of wear a bunch of different hats, but one of the ways we do this is we first establish a circle of support. So a circle of support is a group of people that work with the individual. A lot of the times it's either myself or my supervisor, who's in the back of the room. Job coach, case manager, a lot of times a parent, family or friend member who's supportive of that person. The client themselves, or him or herself, are the ones that choose who they want to be in their circle of support. We work together helping this person achieve their dreams and goals, which can be, I want to live independently, but I also want to get a job, I also want to get married one day. Those are the things that we normally hear. So we all work together to help that person achieve those goals. And we work with clients all over the state of South Carolina. So even though we're located in Columbia, we travel all over. We can travel to the client, we can go to their home, we can meet them somewhere. They're also always welcome to come to us. So, to put it simply, kind of like what I was saying before, but our ultimate goal is people will have real homes in places where they control their own front doors and choose their homes and the people with whom they live. So many, as a lot of you all probably know, so many people with intellectual and developmental disabilities don't get to choose where they want to live. Maybe they're living in group homes. A lot of times I guess they're living with their families. But a lot of our clients haven't even really been asked, what do you want for your life? What is your ideal living situation? So that's what we want to do for them, is where they get to choose where they want to live, and they're responsible for themselves with the right supports, of course. So our goals continued is that the person chooses the place where they want to live based on what they want, what area they want it to live in. Do they want it to be pet friendly? Do they want the place to have a pool? Within walking distance to a grocery store, stuff like that. Rather than just, I'm going to live at this place because there's staff on site or the supports are there at this facility. We want the supports to go to the person. So if they still need extra support, then maybe we'll look into getting them a personal care assistant or a live-in aide or something like that, so that their choice isn't just limited to picking places just based on that. People will be helped to define the lifestyles they want and supported in achieving them, and where their experiences have been limited, people are helped to develop and express their lifestyle preferences. Sometimes people don't know what they want, and I actually experienced that yesterday with a client. My first question to her was, what are your dreams for the future? And she kind of paused and smiled and giggled, because I don't know if she's ever really been asked that. And if she has, it's probably not been very often. And so we try to help them clarify that, ask them more questions, work with that circle of support, and try to get to know the person better and what they want, and help them come to their own decisions. And then we support them in achieving those goals. So it's a very holistic approach, even though myself and my supervisor really focus on the ultimate goal is for the person to live where they want to live. Sometimes part of their goals is they want more friends or they want more confidence. So we look at that too, and we look at, okay, hey, have you gone to, sometimes they want to get more involved in their church families or go to church, or I've got a client right now who wants to start Krav Maga. I might be saying that wrong, it's like a form of martial arts, am I right? Yes, okay, so we'll talk about that at our meetings, like, have you started this, have you taken a class? So yeah, we support them in that too. And also, I want to go back really quick and say something. I have learned to not make assumptions and to always ask the person what they want. And sometimes, for example, a lot of the times when I talk to clients in wheelchairs, they want to live places where, that are within rolling distance, where they can get to grocery stores or restaurants or fun places. But I had a client one time who was in a wheelchair, but he really wanted to live out in the country, a really rural area, and he was happy with that, and that's what he wanted. And so to not make those assumptions, whereas one of our clients just moved into her own apartment, and that was one of her number one things, was that she needed to be within walking distance to a grocery store, and she wanted to be in a place that she felt very safe walking. So each person's very different, everyone's really unique, just like all of us in here. So that's something else I wanted to say. Everyone has a role to play. The focus person is the client, and their job is to communicate with the circle of support, take initiative, follow up on tasks, and keep the circle on track with the vision. And the circle member, which would be myself, job coach, support person, is to listen and respond to the person, research options such as employment, funding, housing, community services, link the person to community resources, and advocate for the person. And once again, this can look a lot different depending on the client and what he or she needs. So we kind of act as the liaison, the advocate, and researchers. So a lot of the times I feel kind of like a bridge connecting the client to different resources that they need, Sandy will definitely keep her business card. She would be great for a lot of my clients probably in the future. So just connecting them to what they need, advocating for the individuals. Sometimes people are in situations that really aren't okay. Maybe the landlord is not keeping up with what they're supposed to be doing with the apartment. Sometimes I'll try to connect them with SC Legal Services, and situations like that, and researching what's out there as far as apartments and resources. Our first meeting is an interview where we get to learn more about them, and they get to learn more about us, and if they want to continue services. The second meeting, if they do decide they want to continue services, we do a path plan. Have many of y'all heard of a path plan? No? Okay, well, we pretty much get this big sheet of paper out, and we have markers, and it's really colorful. But what it is we put their dreams on one end, and then at the other end we start with like where they're at now. We identify their strengths, because we really like to identify their strengths, and we also like to be very solution oriented. People in their lives that are supportive, and then we make this timeline of what we want to achieve. Normally, down here is living independently, getting a job, all of that stuff. So we try to write, okay, what can we as a group and team do to accomplish within 1 month, within 3 months, within 6 months to get, to where they want to be. I don't know if I said this earlier, but each person kind of does different things. So, like I may have a meeting with a client, and my task before the next meeting is to research housing options in this area that this client's interested in. And the job coach may need to be looking into, maybe something's going on at work and they need to talk to the employer, and then the case manager needs to look into something with Medicaid, and it all seems kind of random, but it all ends up tying together, and it's all equally as important. So there's a path plan right there. Sometimes it looks a little bit different. A lot of the times when I draw them, they end up being a lot bigger. Because my handwriting's really big, but yeah. So that's an example. To be eligible to receive services, someone has to be 18 years old or older, obviously live in South Carolina, have an intellectual or developmental disability, a diagnosis of autism, a spinal cord injury, traumatic brain injury, and be eligible to receive DDSN services. If the person is still in high school, even if they're 18, we prefer that they're in their last year of high school. But of course, like, referrals can still be made, and we would like to also be a part of their IEP meetings. And this is like very important. If they want to receive services, the individual needs to be the one that wants to live independently, not the mom or the dad or the sibling or the teacher. They need to want it for themselves. So if anyone can make a referral, the individual can make a referral, friend, case manager, whoever. If any of you in here end up wanting to make a referral, if you're unsure about any of the information on the form, that's okay. And just send it in to the best of your ability, and we'll contact you, and we'll figure it out. Sometimes that's what people ask when it comes to referral forms. So this is my email address. This is my supervisor's email address. You're welcome to email us to ask for a referral form. And then you just fax, email it, or mail it to the contact information on the referral form. Okay, here are a couple of clients that I've had the pleasure of working with. This is Sean on the left and Jeannie on the right. Sean took over a year to move into his own place. Jeannie took less than a year, maybe 10 months or less. So each person, that's a big question a lot of the time, is how much time does it take? It just depends. It depends on where the person's at, what support they need, and just what's available. Sometimes people get frustrated, but really if there's wait lists at apartments and things like that, sometimes we just have to wait until something's available. Sean and Jeannie are both very happy. I think Sean gets along better with his family now that he lives in his own place. And Jeannie, she was the one that really wanted to live in a place within walking distance to different areas, which she got. And she lives in a safe place. I just saw it the other day. It's very cute. And yeah, so both of them are doing great. Jeannie's looking for a job right now. Sean already has a job. He's looking for another job. And they're both really enjoying living independently. And then here's our contact information. Do y'all have any questions for me?
Do you ever work with people who might already be living as independents and like perhaps in a group home, but are interested in making more connections to the community or becoming involved in volunteering or but have needs like accessibility?
Sometimes we'll have clients who call. So if a client ever calls us and maybe they're not like the best fit for our services, we will still like research stuff on our own time and call them back. Like I've had a lot of people that have called and maybe they're not like if they're already living independently and want a different place, if they are independent enough to where they can do that on their own, I might provide them with resources over the phone.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I was thinking, someone who might live in a group home already but can't drive but wants to volunteer with a senior center if he's a young adult.
Is he wanting to stay at the group home?
Yeah.
Okay, so normally it's a combination of like wanting to live independently and become an active member of the community.
Yeah, that makes sense. That answers my question.
But they can always call and we can still look into it.
Is there a cost associated with this?
No, it's free. Yeah.
Roughly how many clients do you serve?
Right now, we have what, about like 20, 15 to 20? It's only myself and Christy working with the clients, and we meet with these clients once a month, but then a lot of times we're doing stuff in between and meeting with them in between. So right now it's probably between 15 and 20, but we also have a wait list.
Are most of these in their own home?
A lot of them live with their families.
Their families, yes.
That's the number one thing. We do sometimes run into issues, unfortunately, if someone already receives residential services and we want to work with them, they want to work with us, but like kind of the way policies are right now, like if they're already being used receiving residential services, it can be hard for us to step in and help them find a different place to live. So a lot of the people that come to us are from families.
What is the major age range that you deal with?
Oh, like, Sean was like 30, but I think, like, I'm working with the guy right now who's probably like 19, and then Jeannie was in her 60s,
Okay.
so it's all over
Okay.
the board. Mhm.
Good.
Do you provide financial support to them, or do they just have to use what supports they already have?
That's a big part of it. We try to connect with them with the right financial resources. So we try to send them up for the Section 8 voucher, look at subsidized housing, but we'll also look at their income and connect them to people who may help them be able to get like more Social Security or figure out how to get them Social Security. Connect them with the job coach. The job coach may talk to the employer about how they can get more hours. One thing we can do is sometimes if there's a person who hasn't yet received the Section 8 voucher, but there's an apartment that's open and they want to live in it, and they're on the wait list for the voucher, DDSM will sometimes provide the money. They will match what the Section 8 voucher would normally pay until they get the Section 8 voucher. Does that make sense? And so we do provide funding in that aspect. That's not with every client, but sometimes.
Is there also something concerning what their IQ is?
No, honestly, we just, anybody that wants to meet with us, we meet with them.
Okay.
And then we just see where they're at, and we don't turn anyone away, as long as they meet those basic requirements.
Good. Thank you.
No more questions? No? Well, thank you so much, Margaret.